Welcome to To Be Continued, where your host, I'm Christian.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Riley.
And as you guys know, Tuesday saw some news that me and Caleb had been asking for a month. Carson Wentz.
God is good.
Amen.
You're supposed to say all the time.
All the time.
And then you're supposed to say all the time.
God is good.
Yeah. Come on, man. You gotta.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry. I'm just so excited that Wentz has a team, and ready. Let me just go ahead and address this because everybody keeps asking me, "Are you going to the Rams? Are you going to be a Rams fan? You're going to be a Rams fan?" And I'll tell you why it won't happen, even if Wentz ends up being successful. Because you know what that will tell me? I was the problem all along.
He can't help himself. What's going to happen is he's going to be the backup for this year, and Matt Stafford's going to be like, he's going to play good for a couple games, and he's going to get hurt again. Then Wentz is going to play good enough that the Rams are going to keep him around, but not good enough that another team's going to snipe him to be their starter, a la Baker Mayfield. And then what's going to happen is, knowing that Stafford is injury prone, they're going to bring back Carson Wentz. They're going to invest all of their good draft picks, building around the rest of the team, as they should. Franchise left tackle. I think that's the big thing that would really, because Stafford didn't miss a single game when Andrew Whitworth was on the team.
That's why.
So
I'm wondering.
I think I'm going with that left tackle. But what's going to happen? I can already see this movie. I know how it's going to play out. And then next year with Wentz, with a full year as McVay's backup, now he's actually got a backup quarterback that has a little bit of actual talent because he's never had that before. Like, all of his other quarterbacks have been turds. The best backup quarterback they've had is Blake Bortles. And that was only for like a 3-week span.
Yes.
He wasn't even there for a full year. Like, he signed because somebody
Jared.
I think he came when somebody else got hurt. I don't think he was there the full season. I don't remember. Maybe he came back. I don't remember. But like, he's the most talented backup they've had in the McVay era. Mm-hmm. And he's out of the league. So I think now Carson Wentz like jumps to the top of that as the most talented backup. And I think if he gets a chance to really play meaningful games, I think you're going to see something interesting.
Well, I'll say this. I think in LA.
And then Christian's going to be a Ram fan. That's
true.
This is not going to happen. I'm a Commanders fan.
You can't resist yourself. Your Commanders are going to hire, I don't know, maybe they'll even hire Bieniemy, and then they'll go like 2-16.
Nah, they're going for Eberflus.
If they hire Bill Belichick,
that's not happening.
I'm a basketball fan forever. Never happening. Like, I don't want Belichick. I don't want any part of him. I don't want Josh McDaniels. But
I would love Belichick as long as you're not hiring him to be your general manager.
But he won't do it any other way. Belichick's never had a job where he's been just strictly the coach.
I don't know.
Even when he was the Cleveland coach, he was the GM as well.
He's got to humble himself a little bit and realize if you want to win, you need some help.
Like, he's still a good coach, but he's not.
He doesn't have to humble himself. He can retire whenever he wants.
Yeah, but he's like 28 games, I think, away from the all-time win record. And
he
wants that record.
Oh, he's been wanting it ever since Don Shula trashed him during the.
He wants to win another Super Bowl because right now it looks like Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. And even though I would still argue it's the other way. Like, I would say it's more. I think they kind of made each other. I think they were a match made in heaven.
I think it's 50-50 as well.
Yeah.
Because I think, especially early on, Belichick made Brady. Because Brady wasn't even good early on.
So if we break it down, the way I look at that dynasty, from 2001 to about 2006, I'd say 75-25 Belichick. From about 2007 to about 2012, I'd say it was about 50-50. But 2013 on, I'll say it was 75-25 Brady.
You know who Brady is as a player? And it really kills me to say this. He's like Derek Jeter. Like, he was not the most physically gifted ever. Like, he was never the most physically gifted quarterback his whole career. But there were times when he was the best because he just refused to be anything less.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And he refused to accept anything less. He refused to lose. And
Brady had the mindset of a Hall of Famer, and that's what made him be one of the best quarterbacks you've ever seen.
He actually took less money so that his team could be good. A lot of other people talk about that, but they don't do it like he did.
But this is what I always crack. Every draft, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be the next Brady. I'm gonna beat Brady. I'm gonna get 8 rings." And then they get the contract. I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna be the next Brady, huh?"
Nope.
And then Mahomes. I thought Mahomes actually did it because on that deal, it seemed as if later on it'd come down, and then we got the news the week after Burrow signed his massive extension. Mahomes restructured his deal so then he would be the highest paid quarterback.
Man, all I can say is, how much better did the Chiefs look just with Juju? who's like, I think Juju's like a really good.
He's a great number 2
when he's like not concussed or whatever, knees problems, right? Whatever's going on, whatever.
No,
and now he's got Mac Jones, so like that's the ultimate.
And even I will say that the Commanders-Patriots game, everybody's killing Mac Jones on that pick. It was a good ball. Like he put it right there on Juju. Juju just dropped it.
Yeah.
But to get back to the
anyway,
Carson Wentz
I haven't even
discussion.
started the discussion.
Yeah, we
Because
already went on a rabbit
We
trail.
won't take a half hour. Okay.
Commanders, we got
Okay.
Commanders coach. But so I will say this. Tell me if I'm wrong. You could make the case Wentz is the most athletically gifted quarterback the Rams have had since ever. Like who have they had? Like
They've never had an actual dual threat.
And
I mean, not that
they've had like Perkins, but he didn't have an arm.
Yeah, Perkins couldn't throw.
Jared could move a little bit, but he couldn't
Yeah.
move he can't move.
And
the ball.
even that, you saying that makes me realize that that's a low bar to have an athletic quarterback for the Rams, because Carson Wentz was like, he wasn't even like the most athletic quarterback when he was on the Eagles and he was in his prime.
He's a good athlete.
He's a good athlete. I'm just saying he's a good athlete, but he wasn't the most athletic. He wasn't like, oh, this guy is an insane
when he was in his
athlete.
prime, he was.
Yeah,
I
but like
After the knee injury.
now he's got the knee injury, back injury, concussion, or head injury. All of it just kind of adds
Pre
up.
ACLs, I think he was every bit as athletic as Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll agree that he was just as athletic as Josh Allen. But like he was not the most athletic in the league, but not the worst either.
It's not Michael Vick.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
No one is.
So the thing I'm interested to see is when Wentz is at his most successful, and I want to see what McVay does with him. The key to keeping Wentz successful is limit the opportunities he has to throw. So the number I usually go to is 35 attempts and under. The dude's 29-13. That's a great record as a quarterback. His teams average about 26 points per game. That's phenomenal. That's high-end starting level. But anytime you have him throw 36 or more times in a football game, you're more than likely going to lose. He's 17-31-1, and his teams only average 22 points per game.
That feels like a match made in heaven, because what's that stat where McVay, like when McVay teams run the ball 25 or more times or something, he's only lost like 1 or 2 games. Like, it's a crazy win percentage.
So, and what McVay has always loved to do, he loves to do play action, but he's never really had a quarterback that can execute the rollout that successfully. Like Stafford could a little bit, but Stafford's not the athlete he once was, and he never really was that great of an athlete. Where Wentz is at his best isn't in the pocket. Like, Wentz is a decent pocket passer, but he's an elite, and I do mean elite quarterback on the run. The problem I will say, though, is Wentz isn't the athlete he was even 2 years ago. Aaron Donald ruined that man's athleticism to the point where now I'd probably say he's an athlete on the level of a Ryan Tannehill. I mean, still not horrible, but...
Former college wide receiver,
yeah. But
he might be moving back now.
I just find it. What I find hysterical about this entire move is Wentz is now going to the team that started the downfall.
Yeah,
and the team that chose Jared Goff over him. Like that same draft, the Rams could have picked him number 1 overall.
What if the
instead
Rams?
they chose.
I've always wondered, what if the Rams?
he probably would be like top 10 quarterback in the league because he would have never really blown his knee up.
But he also could. There could have also been one other thing. He could have also maybe saved Jeff Fisher's job, which would have been the worst thing ever.
Oh,
True, and I think, I think this is a big move for the Rams because they just haven't had a backup quarterback, and you can't. This is a borderline playoff team.
Yeah.
Like I know they're sitting at 3-6 now, so it's looking pretty unlikely. But they're not significantly worse. Like they're a better team than the Packers. They're a better team than the Steelers, who they lost to.
Mm-hmm. And the NFC's wide open. Like it is wide open.
There are not a lot of good teams. You got a couple good records. You got Dallas got a good record. San Francisco, who's also lost 4 in a row, 4 in a row.
I think it's 4 now.
3.
It's 3 now.
5 and 3.
Yeah.
So if you look at, but you also look at the Rams, and let's look at versus the other teams Wentz has played for. You could make the argument this Rams offensive line, even though the names on paper might not look as good as the Colts, they are actually playing better right now than Wentz has had an offensive line since he was in Philly. The run game, is Williams coming back yet?
I think they're talking like week 12. Like he's out a little bit.
All right, I could see that being the week like Wentz makes a debut because I'll be honest with you, I don't know how much Stafford has left in this year.
Yeah, I mean he's
just because of the hip and the thumb.
The hip and the thumb. The thumb can be easily aggravated and made worse. So I think I'm a little nervous about that. But
hey, and what I'm also interested to see is what team has McVay always struggled to beat in his time as a
49ers.
Wentz destroys the Niners every single time he plays.
What's going to be interesting to me is to see how Wentz affect. Like I think the big reason that the Rams wanted Wentz is because they saw this is a team that's supposed to be retooling or the soft rebuild or all the things they were trying to say. You're not getting any better with Rypien playing quarterback.
No.
So having Wentz out there at least gives you an arm that can is a competent NFL quarterback, and so this is a team that, to me, I thought they're just going to roll with Rypien and hope they didn't win another game. Like, I thought that was their game plan.
Well, if they were doing that, so my thing was if they were going to do, I was wondering if they were tanking to get one of that left tackle from Penn State who's been all world.
The guy in Notre Dame's really good too.
Yeah,
there's a few of them. There's like 2 or 3 really good left tackles in this draft. I think there's one from Oregon State that I think is also really good. One of those places.
But to get back to it, Wentz has the great this offensive line, it's not great, but it's not horrible. I'd even say it's slightly above average. Like, it's not a bad offensive line. But the guy I think who's going to work the most out of this, Cooper Kupp and Puka, they're going to get the targets. Wentz does love targeting receivers who get open, which they do. But Tyler Higbee's going to get targets. Like, Wentz loves a big body possession guy that gets open on routes, but doesn't have the speed to just break away. He loves to just throw it right to the big body.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, the people who might actually work the most out of this is the running backs. Wentz does hit a bunch of his running backs. The thing I'll say with this is enjoy Cardiac Carson. Because any given play, you can get a touchdown. Any given play, you're getting
an interception.
Yeah. Yep. I like Darrell Henderson, though. Like, I would love to see what happens if somebody will actually throw him the ball out.
So I was checking the film because I went back and I was watching the old McVay. And I've meant to check this year, but I haven't really done it yet. How many RPOs? Do you guys run a lot of RPOs or no?
No. Yeah. The Rams' offense has not been the same since Todd Gurley got hurt.
I could tell that. Mm-hmm. So I was
they have not been an explosive offense like that without Gurley. Mm-hmm. So I think what they need to look at themselves in the mirror and realize is we need an elite back. Mm-hmm. And so maybe I don't know what kind of backs are coming out this year. There's not really like a Bijan, but maybe there's like a second round type talent. I don't know.
You know how running backs are.
Yeah, who knows? But
you guys can find a running back in the 5th round.
They need like a top notch talent back if they really want to key into McVay's greatness. And you saw they know that because they worked hard to get McCaffrey, and they just fell short. So it would have been interesting to see what would happen if that hadn't. But
I'm interested to see how Wentz and McVay do because to me this is
he's going to play.
And this is what confused me. There's actually people in the media going, "Oh, this might be a bad move. What do the Rams think?" I'm like, it's a no risk, high reward thing here. Like either, hey, if he sucks, guess what? He's on a $1.25 million contract. Bye.
Yeah.
And he obviously told the Rams that like he understands I'm coming in as a backup, and like, they like everything they heard because they've been all about that locker room. They've been all about chemistry, all about all that. They're trying to build a foundation of something, and so that's why they got rid of Akers.
So my question
was
is,
a he guy.
If Wentz works out, what happens to Stenson? Is he cut? Is he done?
He just becomes the third
quarterback.
String.
Yep.
Well, it depends if he ever gets out of AA.
That's true.
It's true.
Or I assume you probably built a log cabin in the woods by now.
So yeah. I love the move. You know, no downside at all.
No, not really.
It'll at least make. I was not going to watch another game that Brett Rypien, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even care how he says his name.
I don't like him being just pure out scapegoat.
He's terrible.
No,
he sucks. He's awful. He missed some pretty like wide open receivers, like big plays turned into interceptions.
What I am interested to see is how Wentz functions with Higbee at tight end instead of a person like Ertz, because I feel, and this is going to be a very hot take, I feel that Wentz made Ertz because
he did.
Ertz, once he left the Eagles,
he has
gone, done nothing.
And before Wentz, he wasn't anything. Wentz loves targeting tight ends, but I will also say this: if McVay can get the most out of Wentz, I just hope McVay isn't in his head saying, "I can get him back 2017." If the way they need to attack Wentz is, hey man, the old Wentz is out of here. Let's make a new Wentz.
I think it's just let's learn the offense and let's see what happens.
Yeah, they got the bye week this week, so he has time to figure out the system. And once he figures out the system, they can morph him into it.
And I think he's great for a backup role because he's always been phenomenal in low pressure situations. If he's coming in as a backup, there's not going to be any pressure.
Yeah.
But this is also it for him. If he doesn't work out, if there's rumors of him being a horrible teammate, not being coachable,
done.
He's out of the league.
Well, because he hasn't been on the team since he was on the Commanders. What was it, last year or the year before? Last year.
And the only reason that he was able to get this job is because of who he was training with in the offseason. Because John Gruden is a mentor to Sean McVay. Even though I will say, Wentz with the reputation you've kind of had, and the guy you probably shouldn't have went to's John Gruden, whose reputation kind of was hit as well, but it worked out.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I'm going to be watching. I also want to see how he does with Tutu, because Tutu has some speed on him.
He's got Tutu, he's got Puka, and he's got Cooper Kupp.
Like, the Rams might, you can make the argument, the quarterback room's not, the only problem is with it's a little old, but 30 for a quarterback's not really that old.
No, not really. The only thing that I have is his injury history, and I want to see how much it catches up to him.
Well, the thing is, his injury, this is what I'm going to be looking at. When he comes in, is he wearing spat? And you're probably wondering, what the world's spat got to do with anything? Because it lets me know how much he's trusting his body. Yep. Whenever he's wearing spat on the ankles, I'm like, okay, non-athletic quarterback here, get out of here. I don't want to see it. Because whenever he has spat on, he just plays in the pocket, holds on to the ball. In order for him to succeed, I need him to just play the system of McVay. Be the point guard. They don't need you to be Superman.
Nope.
Just hit.
And he has people around him on that offense that he could certainly dish the ball to, and just it would make him look a lot better than what he looks like now.
And Cooper Kupp's the greatest slot receiver in the league, right? Like, you can make that argument. And Wentz is always
6 points a week for fantasy.
Wentz has always loved the slot receivers. Like, let's not forget, before Wentz, Aguilar was a bust.
Yes, 100%.
Now Aguilar's still in the league. But anyway,
sadly,
anything else you guys would like to add on to the Wentz segment? Wentz, rooting for you as a Wentz fan, but I will be staying on the new Howell Order side, as I have myself a quarterback. Just need to find the right GM and coach. Anyway.
Sure.
Right. I said that we would do this every 4 weeks. We kind of missed it. We didn't really do it last week because we wanted to finally get a movie episode in. So what we're going to do is we're going to give our MVPs so far. So like 3, we're going to do like we did.
Just MVP?
Just give your
like the top 3?
Yeah, who from 3 to 1.
Oh, this one's going to be tough.
We could just give one because I don't know. I'm just gonna say
this is kind of tough. It's very
just
close.
Say who your MVP is.
I don't know who 3 would be.
Nobody's really separated themselves. But as of right now, I'm just gonna say Patrick Mahomes because he's the quarterback. He is the person that people want to be right now. I mean, the only other person I would say is Jalen Hurts, just because his team has the highest in the league. But he's throwing too many picks. It's just not. It's not what I want from him.
Hurts is in there.
Putting up impressive.
Last 2 weeks, 10 touchdowns.
Exactly, but
like it's been phenomenal.
Exactly.
He just doesn't look very good.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
not.
He is hurt.
Then again, Mahomes doesn't look that great either.
Yeah, but Mahomes is also throwing to 3 less targets.
It's a weird year because the defenses have looked phenomenal.
Yes, defenses look great.
All right, Caleb, who you got as your MVP?
Aaron Donald.
Almost ended the podcast.
I mean, clearly the MVP is Matt Stafford because without him, the Rams came and scored a touchdown. No, I think the MVP. I mean, it's really like anybody's award right now. But I think probably my favorite would be Mahomes because they've only lost 1 game. Right? They only lost 1 still, right? They didn't lose.
No, yeah. I think they're down to 2.
Who'd they lose? They lost.
Because I think.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the Eagles are the only 8-1 team.
Best deep ball in the league.
Yeah. Hey, he beat him. Best deep ball.
Yeah.
Hey, first Broncos quarterback beat him since Peyton Manning. Hey, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'd probably say Mahomes. Probably the next closest would probably be Jalen Hurts because he's been putting up good numbers recently. The Ravens doing really well, but Lamar's numbers are non-existent.
The only reason I didn't
been winning games. So
the only reason I didn't say Lamar is because he didn't throw a touchdown, and he didn't have to against the Seahawks.
He's thrown 10 touchdowns on the season.
Oh, I know.
His numbers are not impressive, but their wins are. So
yeah.
Okay, my MVP. This is something I never thought I'd say in a million years. I didn't think I'd be saying it after what he did against Georgia in January. I didn't think.
I almost said this exact same person.
I
honestly.
also thought of this guy too.
14 touchdowns,
Yep.
1 INT. Only rookie quarterback in NFL history with 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. And let's not forget, what were the Texans without him the last 3 years? Horrible. Even with their most wins in the season in the last 3 years has been 4, and that was with Deshaun Watson. They're already at 4 now, and this team, you know what? He has made me realize I'm not realizing about talent outside. If you're that guy, you're going to come in and show you're that guy. Because I'm tired of the excuses for Daniel Jones. You can't tell me that what he has right now in Houston isn't worse than what Daniel Jones has.
No, I could argue that.
Okay, Nico.
Houston's got a really good offensive line.
Also,
they're healthy, but
even their backups are better than the Giants' starters. Their backups are better.
Okay.
And I know the Giants drafted high offensive linemen, like they drafted them high, but they have not played well. So I don't know if that's poor coaching.
But okay, so here's my question.
Their offensive line has played significantly better.
CJ Stroud's getting the ball out quick. The time to throw, he's getting that ball out fast. The Giants quarterbacks have a tendency to hold the ball.
I'm no Daniel Jones defender, as you know. I was slightly on the bandwagon before the season started, and then I picked him to win one game, and then I reverted right back to that guy's terrible. He's never been any good. And
Johnson's our quarterback. That's
I think, and
Yeah.
I like Tank Dell. I like the rookie receiver Tank Dell. I think he's good,
Yeah.
but I also do want to know,
Collins is
and
good.
we're not going to see it unless he leaves the Texans. I want to know if C.J. Stroud is making Tank Dell.
the tight ends are balling.
Yep.
Like,
Brandon Cooks is on the team.
This is
no,
what's
Cooks
like,
is over on the
how many
Cowboys.
I want to see how C.J. Stroud does after this year, because there's no way this offensive coordinator of the Texans doesn't get a job. I would be shocked, because he's the one calling the plays, he's making the schemes, and he runs that Niners system, and where the Niners.
Yeah, and I think D'Amico Ryans has got these guys wanting to play football too.
It's also
absolutely.
true. Yeah, they did get a new coach between last year and this year too,
But
so
the thing
that
that's
factors
weird
in.
is, even though it's a big year for defenses, the Texans' defense hasn't been great. Now, I will also say it's because they've already had like 9 injuries
Yep.
to starters, so you kind of.
What's the other really high pick? Anderson?
Will Anderson
Didn't they
Jr.?
pick-
Yep.
Has he done it? I haven't heard his
Yeah,
name at all.
That's what I was just about to ask.
So his numbers don't flash, but if you watch the game, he's actually he's phenomenal.
I think
he
he's,
has quick hands, very good against the run. Pass rush, he's getting double teamed a lot. That's his problem.
I think he's
so Chris Long. He's playing well, but you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of reminding me like. From what you're explaining, it sounds like Josh Sweat this year. Josh Sweat doesn't have a lot of sacks, doesn't have a lot of tackles, but he has the most pressures in the league right now for the Eagle or for the entire league.
How do I want to put? So when I watch Will Anderson, the name that and it's not because he's in this uniform, Jadeveon Clowney. If he just had a little more pass rush etiquette, like he's just that much fun to watch.
If he could blow the helmet off of somebody.
But I will also say the weird thing is Damian Pierce, great last year. This year,
he's a bum.
like
He's pretty mediocre in Florida as a Gator.
it's true.
Everybody that's been
He was a
Gator has
big
been
muscle
mediocre.
back, and I mean his rookie year, I won't lie, I kind of liked him. I liked how he was kind of like a Marshawn Lynch. He had the mentality of Marshawn Lynch. He just wants to hit people, but now this year he's just kind of like not there.
But I also say this year you could make a case out of the 5 rookie quarterbacks we've seen. Bryce Young's the worst. Like who were
Yeah.
drafted high. Like Will Levis has
Yeah.
looked phenomenal.
He's also got the worst supporting cast.
That's
That's
also
true.
true.
That's
But
true.
Anthony Richardson now the thing that gets Richardson, best ability is availability. Richardson, he's getting hurt.
But also he is getting hurt. But I think that they're opting for the surgery and keeping him out for the rest of the season wasn't him not being available. It was the team being like, let's not ruin his career right away.
And I think that what's his name, Shane Steichen. I think that dude's a coach.
You can tell the Eagle everybody wants
More
to say,
so than your guy Frank Reich, who I told you was a terrible hire for the Panthers.
Didn't you? I thought you
I
ranked him
told
like
you.
1 or 2.
No, I ranked him last.
No, him. I think he ranked him 1 or 2 on the coach hires.
Because that dude was horrible, and he just immediately went and got another job. Why? Why did he get another job?
Hold up. I need give me a year or two. Give me a year or two. Give me a year or two. Please.
He has these.
Is he gonna have a year or two?
He's gonna have a year or two.
When his team only wins one game
Well, he
this
didn't-
year,
but he didn't
and the
wanna-
Bears are picking
He
number
didn't
one
even want to
overall,
draft Bryce Young.
then I don't know what he's doing as the head coach. If
That's
you
his-
don't trust your
that's-
head coach
see,
enough to pick your player,
I'm wondering.
The owner said, I'm not picking C.J. Stroud. I don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks, which means, and look, I would have been the same way, and guess what? I should have been fired right away.
I'm wondering if they're going to give up. I don't want them to, but I'm wondering if they're going to give up on Bryce Young too early, and they're going
No.
to blame Bryce Young over Reich.
So they're going to at least give Bryce Young 3 years.
I hope they do.
So that's how 2 at the fastest is the most they'll get rid of him. But back to the MVP discussion. The only reason that you can make the argument that you won't give Stroud the MVP is because they're 4-4.
yeah, his team's not gonna end up with that good of a record.
Yeah.
And usually your MVPs, they need to make the playoffs. Even though I will say, if they slipped up and won the division, I wouldn't be shocked because yes, the Jaguars have a good team, but their remaining schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
And the Titans, I think this is going to come down to Week 18 between those 3 teams, and I can't
I think
wait.
I can see that too. Also, but I don't want to say it's going to happen, but I also don't see the Titans being in that battle towards the end.
Jaguars are 6-2 right now,
Yeah,
so I think they're kind of indifferent.
but they play the Niners this weekend. And there's no way the Niners will lose this week.
Yeah, they're gonna beat the Niners this week. This is the end of Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think either
This is the end
Brock
of Brock
Purdy
Purdy. You
is-
heard it here first. Done.
I want to see I'm rooting to see Sam Darnold. I want to see Sam Darnold play football. But also we were talking about Tom Brady earlier. Anybody else miss him?
No.
Not even a
not
little
at
bit?
all.
I
Not
even
at
thought
all.
about him.
I hated that his name was always in everything.
The thing that I thought was funny,
I miss Tom Brady.
the only thing that I've thought about Tom Brady is yesterday he posted, or today, whatever. Remember that picture of him and Wembanyama, and they're like the same height. Did you see that Photoshop? And he's like, and Tom Brady said, "I give all of you permission to use this as much as you want. Any other picture of the two of us is photoshopped." And I think the meme that I saw was like, Tom Brady's been retired for a year and he's still cheating. Somehow grew 12 inches in a year, so whatever. But yeah, I don't miss Tom Brady.
No,
Whatever.
I think it was definitely. I'm glad he hung it up finally because that gives people more chances for his name to be out of the media for football reasons, and other people can step up now.
Yeah. Would have been cool to see him go win another championship for the 49ers, though. Psych! God, I think that would have happened. If he'd end up in the 49ers, I think they would have won.
They would have won a
Like,
championship.
if he'd gone there this year, he would have won another.
Well, here's the crazy.
And then we'd heard, what's he got? 9 rings if he won that one? Whatever.
That one would have been
Go.
a Mickey Mouse ring.
He wanted to go there in 2020, but Kyle Shanahan and the Shanahans were like, "Sorry, we have Jimmy Garoppolo."
And then they dished Jimmy Garoppolo out.
I think Shanahan likes being the guy.
He does.
I think he likes the attention on him.
That's why when he had Brock Purdy over Trey Lance, he was like, "Hold on, now yeah, I could make a 3rd overall pick, great, but what if I make Mr. Irrelevant an MVP and Super Bowl champion?" And now you're starting to realize, hey, Mr. Irrelevant was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, he was quick. Like, here's the thing with Purdy: he's already hit his ceiling. His ceiling has already been hit.
I want you to know I'm going back to find the clip where you said Purdy is a Hall of Fame quarterback in the making.
No. He can still be good, but I'm saying, like, his talent that's evolving, it's not going to evolve. Like, he doesn't have more to get. He doesn't have accuracy to game. He doesn't have athleticism to game. He's because of all the experience. What he is now is what he'll always be. The problem is what's he struggling with right now is Deebo Samuel is hurt. He doesn't have the all-stars around him.
And he didn't have, what's his name? Trent Williams.
Yeah, that also.
Dirtiest player in the NFL. One of them. The top 5 dirtiest players are all 49ers.
It's true. They are a dirty team.
They
I don't know. Minka Fitzpatrick, after he took out Nick Chubb's knee and then his own teammate's shin.
I miss Cole Holcomb. I wish the Commanders never got rid of him.
Yeah, but I bet you he wishes that too.
Cody Parkey sucks.
Put up a censored version of that right now.
It's the man.
Anyway.
Anything else you guys want to add to the MVP conversation?
No, it's a very tight MVP conversation right now, I believe.
Not like the NBA, where Joel Embiid is already the MVP favorite for the number 1 team in the East. The Philadelphia 76ers.
I'm sorry.
I think the
leading scorer in the league, Joel Embiid.
I'm sorry, the MVP of the league is not Joel Embiid. Let's all be honest. It's Tyrese Maxey.
Well, then why is Embiid the leading scorer in the NBA?
Maxey's the best point guard in football.
I just watched Tyrese Maxey get a nasty chase down block last night.
Did you see
Tyrese Maxey's a stud. The Sixers are so much better off without James Harden.
They're so much faster.
Have fun losing, Clippers. Suckers.
Daryl Morey.
They just they loaded the Sixers up. They gave them all kinds of depth and picks. It
was a terrible trade.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
this is the most ridiculous lopsided trade since that Nets trade.
Somebody said this and I couldn't unsee it. You know who Nicholas Batum kind of looks like? A skinnier, kind of shorter Al Horford.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see it.
I've always thought that.
Here's what I think needs to happen. NBA trade deadline prediction right here. LeBron James, 76ers.
Dude, I'd love it.
Because the Sixers are going to be able to absorb the money. They're going to have picks that the Lakers want, and the Lakers stink. They're going nowhere fast. They got boat raced by Houston last night.
Also, even after
Houston with LeBron balling, you're wasting LeBron James.
That's because they have the best player in the NBA.
Even after they promised
out of there.
Even after they promised him only maximum 30 minutes a game, he's still averaging 43 minutes a game.
Because they're minus 1,000 when he's off the court. It's ridiculous.
He's 38 years old, and when he's on the court, they're the best.
He's
offensive and defense team basketball. When he's off the court, they're the worst. I'm like, how is this possible?
He's another one of those players that I kind of want, not to retire, not because I don't like LeBron, which I don't like LeBron, but I want LeBron to retire because I want his name out of the media for other people to step up and show who they are.
But here's the problem: when he retires, Brady, at least there was Mahomes. Mahomes is already in the league.
Yes.
When LeBron leaves, my thing is, who is the name?
Hans.
Who?
Joel.
Oh.
Hans Embiid.
Jason Tatum's there.
The problem
if he can start putting up wins.
And I mean,
Steph.
I don't
would probably
mean this to sound
just become the dude for the next.
He probably would.
2 or 3 years.
It needs to be an American.
It would be Steph. I think that's. If LeBron were to
Steph's
retire
36,
right now, if
so,
LeBron
like-
were to retire right now, Steph would take over the league until Steph retires, and somebody else would have to
I
step
will
up.
say this: if the season ended right now, Steph is the MVP.
He's the only.
Well,
I
other
don't
than
know
Joel.
about,
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's the oldest player to ever average like 30.
Well, no.
points.
I don't know as of last night when they played the Nuggets, but he was the only Warriors player to score 20 or more points
Yeah.
throughout 8 games.
I will say he did cost him the game. Missed that wide open layup. Ooh.
But to be fair, he's got so much weight on his shoulders. He's carrying other than Chris Paul's 62 assists and 6 turnovers, which is crazy.
Chris Paul's a good player.
He's a great passer. He is so good at facilitating the offense.
Also, if the Clippers want to get better, I don't mean to interrupt you. If
Go
the
ahead.
Clippers want to get the team right, move James Harden to 6th man. Like, he slows their offense down. So everybody's like, make it Westbrook. And, you know, I'm realizing Westbrook fits George and Kawhi perfectly. He's
Yes.
fast-paced, gets in the ball. Right now, and this is why I can't watch Undisputed anymore. I'm sorry. Skip, got to get new guys for basketball. Richard Sherman sits on there and goes, oh, this Clippers thing's going to work because now they have James Harden bringing the ball up the court and they have Russell Westbrook in the corner where he's a phenomenal shooter from the corner. I'm like,
Well, the Harden thing is all about they know that George or Leonard's going to get hurt, and so Harden's going to carry them at that stage. That's the idea. But
Maybe.
when they're all healthy, it just doesn't work.
They're hoping that he's going to carry him at that stage, but he can't even carry
if
him
he,
now.
If he decides he wants to play.
Yeah,
carry him to the club.
Anyway,
carry him to the diner.
yeah.
Anyway, please like, please subscribe, and until next time.
To be continued.